My baby. My baby. You've been on my mind.
How you feel?
I'm losing my mind because I hope that we can be more than just friends. Oh! Hey, I feel like glitter. Time you come around, I feel like glitter. Oh, you're the one that I needed in my life. Oh, the one that I needed in my life. Cause I love. Ah, anyway, we're done with that. How are you guys doing? Hello to all of you image bearers out there. My name is Hans Kamal. Bad singing to the side. I hope I've made a very good impression. Welcome to I Feel Like Glitter. So, this is a new video this week that is more of a reflection video. It's basically like me just trying to look back at things that I've learned as a Christian, things that I'm trying to unlearn, just like some things that are working for me in my relationship with God. That I felt like, hey, let me just like talk them through the to tell them to you guys as well, just to hopefully inspire, to hopefully like do that thing where like you hear someone saying like something that you've always been doing. It's like, yo, you do that too. It's like, yeah, and that's basically what this video is trying to do as well. So, um, I have like a couple of things here, like what I've learned, stuff that I try to do, stuff that is working for me. So I have like a list here as well. So yeah, if you see me looking there, I'm just looking at the list, so I make sure that that I'm not leaving out anything. So starting off with number one, what I've learned. I've learned that we are all imperfect, but we're still here. And I think that one of like the biggest things that I feel like is not spoken enough about as Christians, young or doesn't matter, is how we the we're constantly having to go back. We're constantly having to pack our bags or pick up our cross every day. And in that cross there's so much imperfection. It's so uncomfortable to come to a very perfect God as a very imperfect man. And one of the biggest things that I'm having and I'm learning is like every morning, no matter what I've done the previous day, this is a new day. And that's like the mindset. This is a new day, good or bad, doesn't matter. Like sometimes I can come off a day where like I feel like I've been very productive spiritually. I feel like I've been very productive spiritually, and I have to also humble myself in those cases. And like my I have to like monitor my heart posture to be like, okay, this is a new day. We can forget everything that happened yesterday. Let's attack this day with new mercies, with new graces, focusing on God. So I think that's one of the biggest things I've learned is like we are so imperfect, but we are still here. And shout out to Jesus, because we wouldn't be here without him dying on the cross for us. We literally wouldn't be able to like make the mistakes. We wouldn't be able to have the grace. We wouldn't be able to be able the confidence to constantly come back to God, regardless of anything that happened before. And I think I should also add is that it's not that we're coming to God imperfect, like we're happy. We're coming to God in a place of understanding that we have made a mistake and we are choosing to try again. And I think that's one of my favorite one of my favorite qualities about Jesus, that he kept on trying. If he didn't fail, if he didn't succeed today, he's gonna keep on trying with us specifically, because he keeps on knocking on the door, keeps on seeking people. So I think that's one of my favorite things as well, just to keep on trying. The second thing is, you are not as bad as you think, and you are also not as good as you think. This is this is a word about balance. Is balance in how you view yourself, in how you try to think about yourself, in your self awareness. You're not as bad as you think. You're not as good as you think. And a lot of times when bad things happen, it's so easy for us to like assume that everything's bad, everything about me is bad, everything about my life is bad, my character, my personality, everything. At the same time, when I do something good, it's very easy for me to like gain a sense of like, oh, I'm nice, nice. Hey, I'm nice, and it's very easy for me to do that as well. So learning that I'm not as bad as I think, and I'm also not as good as I think, and just trying to maintain that balance in like in trying to just avoid moving like the totem pole, too far to the left and too far to the right, and just trying to stay balanced. I think it's also more healthier when that's the case, because when we do make mistakes, we're able to understand, okay, we've made a mistake in this area, but we can still find some good things that we have done. And also the other way, if we've done like such an amazing work, we can understand like, okay, I know that I've done amazing work, but I'm still not, I know that there's some things that I can improve on, and there are things which I'm still not perfect in. So I think just for making that mindset of a balanced approach to yourself, it's like amazing, right? That's the second one. And then the third one was being patient. Be patient. And this was based on I think it's James 1 verse 4. Yep, James 1 verse 4. Let patience complete its work. Let patience complete its work, so that it is perfect and without needing anything. Or that's paraphrasing, right? But being patient, that's one of like the biggest things which um, I've been learning a lot, and I've just been seeing how important that it is to be patient. And God has also been teaching me how important it is to be patient, because a lot of times before I didn't even realize. I think that's another thing. You don't even realize how fast you're going sometimes. And so one of the biggest things that I'm also realizing is being patient allows you to to be in a place to receive. It's so hard to receive something when you're going 1,000 miles at a time. But when you're more patient, when you're more calm, it's very easy for you to also enjoy the process. And so something as simple as being patient when, for example, like with these videos, there's always a need to be like, when's the next one dropping? When's the next one dropping? When's the next one dropping? And it's like my mind is always going to like move further along. But like sometimes being patient has allowed me to kind of like to actually be okay. Like if I don't release a video every week, I'm not as mad. I'm still worried, but I'm not as worried as I was before, because I'm more patient and I'm more understanding of God's timing and God's will. And I think that being patient is something that I've learned to allow to complete its work. And so yeah, I think that's something which I've also learned a lot, is just being patient and learning to be patient as well. That's hopefully that can help some of you guys as well. The next one is, you are the light and salt of the earth. This is from Matthew 5 verse 13 to 16, somewhere there. You are the light and salt of the earth. I had like an experience yesterday where someone asked me a question, and like they basically started off as like, I know you're Christian, right? So I wanted to ask, how would you tell? And then they asked a question, and in that moment, that was the first time that it ever like happened to me, where someone has like ask me a question because I'm Christian, which is very, very weird. Um, and it brought me back to this verse, you are the light and salt of the earth. Because as a Christian, there is a certain level of responsibility that you have in your daily life where even without you, because I'm not out here I'm not like actively like preaching or doing anything, but people can tell by your actions. And I think that's one of the biggest things that I'm also under trying to having to understand is that by your actions, you people can tell that you're a Christian. You don't have to hide it, and you're the light, you're the salt and light of the world. Like there's something special about God that God has placed in you, in everyone, that you don't have to say, but people can tell. So for me, what this experience taught me was you have to you have to be prepared to be the light and salt of the world. And you can only do that by coming closer to God because He's the true light. He's our model of how to live. And so what I'm learning about being the light and salt of the world is that when those situations arise, when people call upon you to be the light and to be the salt, I be be as quick to come to Jesus, be as quick to come to God and to ask Him for help to be able to navigate those times. And to also, because for me, as one thing I also struggled with after that experience was feeling like I got it wrong, or feeling like, man, I wish I said this, I feel like I wish I said that. And I think one thing that one thing I also wanted to point out is that just because you are seen as Christian doesn't mean that you're going to be perfect. There are still things that you are learning. There's still things that you are learning as well. Some things that you simply also don't know. So I think it's also important for us to do our best to maintain that balance of understanding that as much as we need to be prepared to be the light and salt of the world, that doesn't change the fact that you are imperfect and that there are some things that you may not know or some things that you need to learn as well. So I think that's one of the things I learned about that. And the fifth and last point is you need to be like a child. Um, this has actually been something I've went through. I'm not sure when, but it's just something that has been on my mind is how the need to be like a child. I'm trying to think of the experience that like made me really, really like lock into this. But being like a child, obviously Jesus speaks about it in Matthew 18 as well. But the need to be like a child, and only people who act like a child will go to heaven or will see the kingdom of God. And I think now I've been trying to. Oh, it's belief. Yes, there we go. Belief in fatherhood, which is a channel which is based on this father who like documents his children's lives and how their family dynamic and everything. And I was watching a video, I think even today, and how and just watching him be a father, watching him go through the process, watching the children like how they think, how they process, how they go through their how they mess up, how they do amazing things. And it's just seeing that like it gave a visual representation of the need to be like a child. And I think for a lot of people who maybe have children or have younger siblings or around young children, you can tell there's something very special about children where there's a lack of fear when it comes to people who are in authoritative places, but there's also a lack of understanding of there's a lack of fear in being able to of choosing to do right and wrong. Children are very open about their mistakes. Children are very open about their things that they do good, because and how they speak, they're very open. They're not trying to hide things. They don't have any. They're going to say embarrassing things. They're going to say things which are very insightful, and I think that's something which it made me understand this verse a bit more and why I need to be more like a child, and how as an adult I've definitely struggled with being open with God. I think that that's getting better, but there's still a point where I want to become more open with my father. I want to become more open with just being more open about my feelings, being more open about things that I don't understand, and just having conversations. even without answers, or without feeling this like, without this seriousness that I feel like you get as an older Christian. I think it's just trying to like go back to like just trusting God as a child. And I think that's something I'm learning as well, or that's something I've learned and I'm learning as well. Is be more like a child. Yeah. So the next part is stuff that I try to do, stuff that I'm trying to do, right? So these are things which I've been trying to incorporate more into into my walk with God, and like, just try to do simple things just to improve my walk with God. And I think the first thing was I changed my purpose. So right now as it stands, the only purpose I have is to make God laugh. That's the only thing I care about. That's the only thing I'm trying to do. Is in everything that I do, I'm going to try and make God laugh. And this came off when before, and this is also going back to like being a child, right? Is I felt that I was becoming too serious with God, where there was this point where it was my relationship with Him was becoming more rigid, and that led to me becoming less comfortable with Him and moving away a little bit. And so I had to like relearn. I'm relearning how to be like a child, and there's some days when it's good, other days when it's not good, but just learning how to, and now coming back from now changing my purpose, it's actually made it easier for me to be like, okay, now I'm building a better relationship with God. Because before, my purpose was me trying to do work. Okay, I need to create this video so that it can impact a lot of people. I need to do this, I need to do that, I need to do this, I need to do all of these different things. But now when I just say, yo, I'm just trying to make God laugh, it's like I'm trying to build a relationship where I'm open with God about, hey God, I want to create this video that exactly like, you see how I started this video, how me literally singing. It's honestly like God's idea, because I wasn't planning to do that. But when I changed my purpose, like, actually that's such a perfect example of that. That's such a perfect example. Is how when I do certain things, I don't I pray to God, it does impact a lot of people. But my first purpose is simply to make God laugh, and simply just to be like, have I been authentically myself to Him? Have I come to Him in a place of, yep, that where He knows me and the real me, not the perfect or buttoned up me, but just me who is like, bruh, I'm not feeling like praying today, bruh, I don't want to do this. I'm feeling sad. I'm feeling this, where I can just be able to be open with God in such a childlike way. So I think that's one of the first things I'm learning is changing my purpose. The next thing is trusting God. Um, Trusting God. I had to learn that you have to allow God to earn your trust. I hope that makes sense. You have to allow, or you have to yes, you have to give God a chance to earn your trust, because, and also to build on that, because we are human beings, and so we, like any creature on earth, you need, when you're building relationships, you're not just going to start off at the end point. You're not just going to start off with the experiences, with the feelings, with the attachment to someone who you've known for 10 years compared to someone who you've known for, let's say, 2 weeks. There's always going to be that difference. So I'm learning in trusting God is that, going back to again being patient, is that allow God to build your trust in Him. And that means you need to go to experiences with Him. You should talk to Him. You need to feel like, one thing about is like just talking to Him and being more open in different areas. Allowing God to come into my life in different areas where I feel uncomfortable, which feel vulnerable to me. And as much as God is obviously God, and we know that He's good, and everything about Him is good, we still need that what is that emotional tank to be filled, that trust tank to be filled, where you're not just going to start off at 100, you're going to start off at 0, and allow God to build that, allow God to build that more and more for me, just to build that every day, trying new things, going to different, trying new things, trying to share God new things about your life, and just building that trust and talking to Him every day. That's something which I'm learning right now, is to just build my trust in God, especially when it's uncomfortable. That's one of the most important things, especially when it's uncomfortable. Just coming to God when it feels like, in my eyes, there's no way to get out of this. It's just trusting God when it's uncomfortable, and learning to trust God when it's uncomfortable. That's the most important thing. So the third point is seeking the glory of God. Seeking the glory of God. And one thing that I learned, or am learning, is that a lot of my relationship with God is it's very based on earthly things, earthly experiences, emotions, feelings, and like seeing things that God has done, just seeing things that God has done through other people, or through experiences or examples of other people. But it's never just looking at God Himself and being like, you, I'm looking for you. I'm not looking for what you can do for me. I'm not looking for, you know, good things that you can give me, but I'm just looking at you and seeking you, and like, oh, okay, you do this, you do that. Because when I build a relationship with God, I don't want to build it because of He's done this for me or He's done that for me. Because even if He didn't do those things, He would still be God. He would still be good. He would still be amazing. So I don't want to. What I was doing before is that, or I'm still learning on. I'm still learning, is that I need to build a relationship with God that is based on Him alone, and not anything that He can give me. This is just me coming to Him and be like, yo, I like you because of you, not because of what you can do for me. And it's honestly like any other friend, any other relationship. You don't want to be with a friend because they can they can give you things, or because they have done things for other people that you hope that they will do for you. You just want to when you have a friend, you want them to be there because of you, because you're a cool dude, because you're funny, because you're amazing to be around. And that's the same thing that I'm trying to learn with God, is how to seek the glory of God, just because of that, not because of anything else. um Fourth thing I'm learning is be quiet and listen. Be slow to speak, be slow to anger, and listen, and quick to listen. And I realized that this is based on an experience I had where I was thinking a lot, like I was just thinking a lot, and my mind was racing, and my mind was going so many places and it was just like a reminder where being quiet and just listening allows God to speak, because He's always speaking, right? But we don't give ourselves the chance to listen, because we're always speaking, because we're always thinking about different things. So I think that one of the biggest lessons that I'm learning is how to be quiet and listen. And for me, that's really just simply like, not, even though I may have things that I know I should be thinking about, or should be worrying about, or have, or worry about, I'm going to listen to God. I'm going to listen to what He has to say. Or sometimes, one of the biggest things um, is when I used to like, I would ask God something, and I would just like, I'd like quickly go through it. I'd just quickly like speak. And I realized that that shows there's a lack of trust and also belief. And so I'm learning how to like listen. And sometimes, and not just all the times, God will always reply, but it depends on how much you're willing to wait. And so being quiet and listening is a chance for me to be like, okay, I'm going to give you a chance to speak, because what, I also respect you. I also respect your opinion, and I also respect the relationship that this conversation will build for me and for both of us as well, because we're abiding in each other, actually. So it is both of us. So like, because at the same time that I'm listening to God, he's also getting to know me as well. So I think that that's an interesting point of view as well. Just being quiet and listening. Yeah. So, the in conclusion to this video, one thing that I will say is or one final thing that I've also been doing as well is asking myself, where am I? Whenever, for I'm not sure if, how many of you are like this, but you know, people who are like, it's very easy to think about the future. It's very easy to think about what's gonna happen next, what's or this good thing or this. It's like my mind always goes to different place. I'm never in a place where I can just simply be still. I struggle with being still, which is a very big. That's something I'm also trying to unlearn. Is I struggle with being still, and so one way that has helped me is by asking myself, where am I? Where am I? So like I'll be thinking about, what I need to do this. I need to have 6 reports. I'm only have 6 reports. What am I gonna do about this? What am I gonna do about that? It's just, or I wish I was there. I wish I was doing this. Or why can I be there? Why can I be doing this? And just ask myself, where am I? And that question always just pop up. Where am I? And that question is basically a question of where's my heart in relation to God, and where am I physically? And because we understand that God establishes our steps, and so that means that we are exactly where we need to be. God has already written every part of your day, every part of where you will be. So and you need for me, where am I is like, it's where am I spiritually and where am I physically. So that's a question which has like really helped me a lot in, and I thought that would just be good to share as well. Finally, the last thing, the final last thing is build a lifestyle. And that is in relation to, and I also have, it's a tagline, is that act like an old married couple. And that's one of the biggest things where how I'm learning to in my relationship with God is by acting like an old married couple. And so old married couples do everything together. They will argue, but they'll still have that underlying care. They will they're able to walk, to dance in the rain. They're able to, what else do old married couples do? They're able to have inside jokes. They have such a deep understanding of each other. So I think building a lifestyle is like a way through acting like an old married couple is just a way for your relationship with God to just go beyond the you treating him like, is that okay? You treating him like God, which is important, but going deeper into that is like building a personal relationship with him, and that helps you like to be able to be more comfortable and share like all of your different, it makes you more comfortable with him, and also it builds that your knowledge of him as well. And I think that's my, those are the two final things. Two final things is, number one, ask yourself, where am I? And then two is action like an old married couple. Those are the two things that have helped me, and I'm trying to do as much as possible now in my 7 months in as a Christian, basically. Yeah, that's it. Whew, I'm tired, but that was good, man. That was good. So hope that has helped you. I hope that has helped you. I hope that has given you a bit of insight into. I hope you've been able to learn something, or that can help you in your walk with God, and just help you to be able to continue to glorify Him in your amazing, unique way. Can I also add something? Like, you are unique, right? And I'm like, to each and every whoever watches this, you are unique. So that means that your relationship with God is going to be unique. So do your best to be comfortable in your uniqueness. Because where I felt I failed a lot, or still fail honestly, is that my comparison is based on my unique relationship with God. So when I look at someone else's life who I feel is like, oh, they popping as a Christian, I'm basing it on their unique relationship with God, and I'm basically looking down upon my unique relationship with God. And I feel like that is dangerous, because it destroys the belief in the beauty that God has put in you, and the fact that God died for you, your imperfections, your perfections, the good things that you do, the amazing character that you have. it just destroys that the belief in that. So one thing I'll just to add on as a final part is learn how to be comfortable in your uniqueness with God and in that relationship with God. Yeah. Okay, that's it. That's it. Thank you very much for watching. I will definitely see you guys somewhere. I don't know where, but definitely guys see you somewhere. Hopefully soon. And yeah, thank you for watching. Peace.